Good afternoon. My name's Jonathan Mooney, and it's a great honor for me to be here. Every single time I speak publicly, I'm very honest about how, for me and many kids like me with learning differences, school sucks, and sucks big time. Now, I am dyslexic, I'm ADHD, and y'all know something? I am proud of it. I did not overcome dyslexia. I am proud to be dyslexic. I'm proud to be a member of this community. I did not overcome dyslexia. Y'all know what I overcame? I overcame dysteachia, okay? I overcame this myth that there's one way to learn, and if you don't fit that one way, something's wrong with you. Let me give you an example of how dyslexic I am. I studied English literature at Brown University, right? Ivy League University, studied English literature, and I read in the 12th percentile. Y'all know what that means? That means that I read today, I'm 30 years old, I read like a 7th grader. I've written 2 books, and I spell at a 3rd grade level. Y'all looking at somebody who spells like a 3rd grader. I didn't learn to read until I was 12 years old. I was labeled learning disabled or dyslexic in 4th grade. I was labeled ADHD, which stands for Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, in 5th grade, and I dropped out of school for a year in 6th grade. That year, 6th grade, 12 years old, I had a plan for suicide. By the time I was in 9th grade, I was told 3 things about myself on a daily basis. I was told that I was the stupid kid. I heard that almost every day. John, you were dumb. Number 2, I heard that I was the crazy or bad kid. And number 3, I heard that I was lazy. Stupid, crazy, and lazy. I was told that every single day. Anybody else in the audience ever been told that about themselves? Few of us, right? This guy's going to raise 2 hands and a foot, right? Yeah, you know it. We're amongst friends now, aren't we? You know? Stupid, crazy, and lazy. Because I'm different, because y'all are different, that's the message we get from traditional schooling. We're told every day that there's one way to be smart. Now that's a lie. There are multiple ways to be smart, but in school often there's one way. Let's be honest, right? In 1st grade, if you spell poorly and you got bad handwriting and you don't read well, guess what you're called? You're called stupid. Look, I know that we have euphemisms for it. I know I'm not literally called stupid. I know I'm called the at-risk learner. Anyone have heard that one? Or my favorite, I'm the special learner, right? Who gets to ride the special bus to the special class when there's not a damn thing special about any of it, right? I spent my entire life chasing this fiction that if I just fixed my reading, I'd be normal. If I fixed my spelling, I'd be normal. When the reality is, normal people suck. There is no normal. There's only you. There's only a singular intelligence. There's only your strengths, gifts, and talents interwoven with your struggles. Normal is a dead end. MD and ADHD, when channeled correctly, are not abnormalities. They're differences. They're strengths, their gifts, their talents. Thank you all very much for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
You know, the challenge in understanding this story is to understand what a monumental negation of who you are as a human being it is to be told you're stupid. I mean, you know, I can sit here and I can talk about it, and you know, I can tell you anecdotes of growing up in the stupid reading group and reading out loud, and all of those things, you know, scratch the surface of what it does to a human being to point at somebody and say, your mind doesn't work, or you're bad. The real tragedy here is many of these kids are not only not stupid, they're the opposite of stupid. You know, they are the next generation of artists or innovators or creative thinkers. So the opposite of it. So not only are you demeaned as a human being, but your authentic self, you're really disconnected from it.
I'm going to talk to you again a little bit more formally about what dyslexia is. Right? As we talked about yesterday, it has to do with reading and writing and spelling, not with thinking. Right? It's not the same as a difficulty with learning. When a person learns how to read, there's a part of your brain right in here called the angular gyrus that does the translation work of taking those symbols and turning them into the sounds. Now this is learned behavior, but some people learn it and that area of the brain activates very quickly in their lives. Age 5 or 6, they get a little bit of print instruction, a little bit of idea of how to do it, some practice, and that area of the brain will light right up. There are other people for whom this area of the brain is the one that lights up. It's up here in the prefrontal cortex. That means you're trying to think your way through it. You're really working hard. You're really working hard to try to decode it, but a different area of the brain is lighting up along with some of the things along this side and back here in the visual cortex. Different areas of the brain will light up, and they're not as efficient as that area, which is the area that processes that very quickly and efficiently. It's trying to light up as many areas as it can to process that thing, and it actually literally measurably uses 5 times more energy to do the same thing. So if you get exhausted while you're reading, that would be the reason. Keep that in mind. You're working harder for less gain often than the other people around you, but it's not because you're not as smart as they are.
Yeah, I have a question about the ADD and ADHD.
ADD can be attendant on this. People can have both, right? There are some people who are just dyslexic. There are some people who are just ADHD, and there are some people who have both. I think the numbers are something like 25% of dyslexics have ADHD, and something like 30% of ADHD people have dyslexia. So there's an overlap. Yeah.
Can dyslexia affect like how you write, like with like dysgraphia?
Oftentimes, if you're dysgraphic, it's a sign that you're having trouble forming the symbols. You know, I know people that get beautiful artists and can't write letters. That's because of the dyslexia. It's hard. And sometimes I always say, I don't know how some people get up and come to school each day. I don't know how you do it. It's what?
We don't know.
I know. Dyslexia is very poorly understood by almost everybody in the society, including our students, who also don't know what it is that's causing their frustration, their difficulties. They've just been dealing with them for years without anybody really explaining the cognitive or biological basis of the condition. And so the biggest difficulty is the emotional one. The first thing we have to do is what I call academic rehabilitation. Just convincing them that the school system is not going to beat them up. And giving them the idea that they are smart, they can learn to read, they can operate in an academic environment with success, and without someone constantly telling them that what they're doing is not right, when the fact is that what their teachers have been doing isn't right.